that like.
Okay,
So I was
so we just have to clarify. So not only do you hate black women, women in general, but you now also hate Asian people in
so
2020.
yo, don't start this before you actually get me in trouble.
Okay, let's just go back because this is I had to go over this again.
He
Yo,
can't. No,
I'm
what
about
was
to
that?
leave
Was that
the
you
I'm
You
saying
about
he
have
to
to
leave
can't
the
be
go.
mayor
meeting.
because he's Asian?
You
I'm about to
just
leave the
said,
meeting.
I would have voted for Andrew Yang, but he's Asian, so clearly.
Wow, that's definitely
Like,
not what
do you
I
want to
said.
elaborate on that?
I definitely did not say that. I definitely
Okay,
did
but
not
there,
say that.
And then I asked him about Maya Wiley, and he was like, "Too many grays." What?
he's like, not only can we not have a woman in office, we can't have a gray-haired woman in office because she's not good to look at. And I was like, come on, how dare you say something like that? Okay, seriously, who's the mayor?
But
When are we
no,
gonna have a mayor?
I don't know. I know Adams is first now and Wiley is second. Maybe they finished it. Maybe it's done. I don't
I
know.
remember. Okay, so full disclosure here, I can't vote, so that's why I didn't vote. I don't know Kamal's voting habits, um, or Mike's, but
No, I don't live in this city. I can't.
I have no skin in this
In the
race
game.
in the
In the
game.
game.
So we're talking about the mayoral race. Is that how you say that?
Yes.
Okay, so come on, what did you say on Facebook
Middle.
that was probably
Um,
problematic and
it wasn't problematic. Oh,
uh,
because I don't think maybe you got me mixed up. I didn't mention. I don't think I mentioned Adams by name. What I said was because I have to look it up now because you know what I say. Oh, I said it's embarrassing when you look at who will likely be. Yeah, I guess I did call it out. It's embarrassing when you look at who's likely to be Buffalo's next mayor compared to New York City's. And then I said, I see you, Buffalo.
oh, who's gonna
Tell
be
me it's
Buffalo?
not the guys from Griselda.
No, tell me it
That
is.
would be
The guys
sick.
oh,
That would be sick.
That would be interesting, to say the
if we
least.
could have Benny the Butcher, Conway the Machine, and what's the other guy?
Younger?
Uh,
No.
Uh, uh,
Gun something?
like why can't I remember his name
nah,
right now?
you have
Whatever.
Benny the Butcher as the as like the I don't know Secretary of Agriculture. Do they have that for a city?
That's
Secretary of Agriculture.
that,
Make $1 million deals at the Coke spot.
that was a pretty good one. That was good.
Uh,
If you guys,
but
if anyone that watches here isn't listening to Griselda, you're just doing it wrong.
yeah.
You are just doing it wrong.
But so
Griselda for mayor.
what do you call it? So Buffalo has just not I guess mm, India Walton, who is a declared and an open democratic socialist, won the Democratic primary for the city of Buffalo.
Okay,
Hmm.
black woman.
Yeah, black woman, DSA member,
All right.
No,
progressive,
represent.
I don't know what any of that
progressive,
stuff means, but
Not Asian.
all things I appreciate.
not.
All
Yeah, I
things,
mean,
all things I appreciate.
Ed Billing is
So
not Asian, so I guess that's
no, I love my Asian people. You know,
okay. Just to fend off the YouTube people that are gonna criticize us, even though they're probably not even listening. We have
yeah,
no problem with Asian people. This was a joke. Kamal doesn't hate Asian people. It was
yeah,
also a joke.
yeah.
Good
So
lord.
like,
You
long story
shouldn't
short,
even be making this joke.
you made the joke, not me. So yeah,
Oh, I did for sure. Yeah.
comparing Miss Walton to possibly Mr. Adams is a disappointment for New York City.
Do
If I'm
you?
being
I mean, I
honest.
don't know anything about Eric Adams. I know former police guy. I think he
For one
got
thing, that's the first, second, and third thing he'll tell about you is that he got beat up by the police and then decided to become a cop. I don't know
because he wanted to change the system from the inside out.
how'd that go.
Um,
Not
He's
well.
not finished.
Not well.
he's still
Work
working on it.
still to be done.
Still
Not
working on
well.
it.
Not
It
well.
says why, and there's a headline here. I think it was written by Kamal actually. Why NYC progressives should fear an Eric Adams mayoralty. Mayoralty? Why that word is kicking my
Morality.
Yeah. Is that
mayoralty.
like a reality of mayor?
I don't know. He looks a
I don't know
little.
if that's a word.
But I
Nah.
did hear something about like him being rude to Andrew Yang, maybe during a debate or something like that.
That's be. I don't care about rudeness, but like he
Hmm.
had like a I don't know. He had some. his politics are not promising for us. I feel like it'll be, I don't know, slightly better Bloomberg.
Yeah, I
That's where
mean,
it feels like slightly better
And I mean,
Bloomberg.
come on, can we get like somebody like who understands the young people? This guy's 60 years old. Like,
Eric L. Adams. Yeah, he doesn't look great, but
But
we'll see how it goes.
fingers crossed. I'm gonna just keep my head down and try not to, the same way I live most of my life. Keep my head down and try not to get caught in the crossfire.
Rick, no.
But
Except for when you're on the bus
just
fighting people.
just since, so hopefully, since this episode is going to come out after the previous one.
Oh,
Speaking of Asian people, just to clarify, last episode, how we wrapped up about the cultural appropriation. I have a sticking point that I need to iron out
oh
before we
boy.
go any further.
Oh
Since I was
god.
really interrupted by some woman last time,
Is that in the video?
oh,
I don't remember if that made the cut.
I think
let's.
I
You
think
sure you want to talk like that?
I muted her, but yeah, some
Okay.
woman.
Okay, the
Um,
significant other.
so what we talking about, cultural appropriation, right?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to, just an example of something. So we were talking about the issue of like what white people with dreads
Hmm.
and the issue with it because of, re- refresh my memory. What was
So
the
the general conversation was, I guess, in a way, appreciation versus appropriation. Like people like Bruno Mars who grew up in a certain culture, people like Adele who grew up in a certain culture, Eminem who grew up in a certain culture. Like it's not weird when they do certain things because it's like it seems genuine, and then he'll. Let me not say the name. Your significant other. I'm not gonna call her the lady, as you like to call her, because that's
The
um, your
love
significant
that.
other, she was making the argument like, well, my personal favorite argument of hers was, it's for black people anyway.
yeah. So
Basically, like, let us have these hairstyles. You have everything else. Let us have this one thing.
Yeah,
that's
literally
a
everybody wants to look like you. So
that's a, that's a terrible argument. But I'm gonna squash this now. So
God, it's for black people.
obviously there will be no convincing her when at least when it comes to the hair thing.
Uh huh.
So I'm just gonna leave that alone.
Okay.
I'm just sum it up and say, uh, cultural appropriation in and of itself isn't a bad thing. Um,
Wow. Strong words. Okay.
like most things, everything comes in context. Apparently, when it comes to white people and black, uh, black or uh, Afro hairstyles,
Let's hear this. Come on.
there is no nuance to it. It's just they're wrong and they can never be right. But like we just said, there are in other areas there are
That's my opinion. I'm
there
not
are
saying it's
no, like
general
there's
consensus.
options. So like for example, a perfect example I thought of. I watch and I'll say I love anime, right? I
Hmm.
love um Japanese animated and animated storytelling,
Okay.
right? Do I know the entire history of the art style, the
I
art
don't know if that's
form,
quite
the
the same.
origins of? No,
I'm gonna let you
it
finish. I'm
really
gonna let you
it
finish.
really is. Do I know the like the origins of it? Do I know the different techniques and styles used? Do I know the periods of
Uh huh.
and style changes? No, I don't. I'm a kid who grew up seeing Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z
Yeah.
and gained an appreciation that grew and developed from there, right?
Okay. I gotta challenge you a little bit here because I think there's a
Okay,
difference between liking and loving, appreciating watching anime and like wearing like a traditional gi. Like no one is saying that you can't watch and like anime. Same way we don't say you can't watch
wait. So wait,
listen to jazz or
if I dressed as one of my, or like cosplayed or wore a shirt of one of my favorite shows or
I
characters
think that's
from,
different. I think cosplay is different
how?
because cosplay is definitely like you're taking on a character. I'm not saying you
yeah,
should
that's
make
not
your
the
skin
same.
pale. I'm not
No,
saying
I'm not.
you
I'm
should
not.
I think
I'm
you
not.
should make your skin pale.
You're wearing a costume.
I like I said,
Everything.
I feel like this is I feel like this is a very like this the distinction is very arbitrary between like um
But you yourself said that like
liking a different cultural style
uh
of art when it comes to making music. And so
yeah,
even then we made distinction between like a Bruno Mars, a Justin
Justin
Timberlake,
Timberlake, yeah,
any white any white artist in
that participates in a black creative
a black
culture.
art form,
Yeah,
and like let's say a riffraff who well, at least at first people are unsure above their like
their
the truth
intention,
and
how
their
genuine they are.
intentions,
Yeah,
and it can feel like a mockery, it can feel like
hmm,
appropriation, it can feel like you're wearing an aesthetic
right,
to push a product rather than I like this music, so it's like those are different, right? We
right.
acknowledge that.
But you
And
can't do
that's my
that with
whole point.
anime. You can't do. I can't
Yeah, I
look at you and be
can.
like, man, that guy loves Dragon Ball Z because he's wearing a blue shirt. Like I can't.
Huh?
I can't look at you and know that you love anime like that. There's nothing like. There's nothing
You could
tangible
appreciate traditional like ways of wearing your hair without actually like
without wearing
doing it. Like
That's that for me. We're gonna leave the hair alone. But like for me, disagree.
I don't
Uh,
think that watching anime is cultural appropriation. I think if
so wait. I
uh,
just want to. So like this actually popped in my head. So do we like for example, would we say Nicki Minaj
mhm.
naming songs after
Yeah, it's like her Harajuku Barbie, like that type of thing.
yeah, Chung Lee. What's the other song from
Hmm.
way back where her music video was like she like had like an Asian aesthetic and she was like wielding a samurai sword and all that.
I don't remember, but you might be right. I might say that is
I'm just
appropriation.
asking.
The
I'm
most
just asking.
recent thing that I
I'm
can
not
think
worried
of,
about appropriation.
uh,
I'm asking is that acceptable? Reading that because it's all appropriation. If you
uh,
black and you're in, immersed in something that's not black, then
mhm.
you're appropriating it. I'm saying that there's nothing inherently wrong with appropriation. It matters context and I would say intent context matters.
But I
I,
mean, but then there's go ahead, Mike.
I'm gonna quickly disagree with that. I think that appropriation by definition means that you're taking something about a culture that is understood as like inherent and important to that culture, whether
Not
it's
necessarily.
Indian headdress, whether it's African traditional hairstyles, and you're wearing it without that same significance, and so you're appropriating something that is significant when in a situation that is not significant. So it's not like if you watching anime is not cultural appropriation
Why?
because it's not the same as like if you had a bunch of like traditional Japanese swords and like tried to speak in Japanese and like practice customs and like did it like
Wait.
shoddy and like embarrassingly, like that would be
Uh,
cultural appropriation.
that sounds like a reach. For one thing, anime and manga are arguably the most popular media
That doesn't mean
forms
that they're
in
like
Japan.
that doesn't mean
So
that
like
they're like a cultural
it
like they're not
it
equal
literally
to like
is. I
no.
would
I'm
I would
sorry.
say I would say old like tradition. Let's see, let me not get make assumptions based on it, but as someone who's a Westerner who's somewhat familiar with it, it's mightily culturally significant.
So yeah, I mean, I
Like,
agree with Kamal in the sense that yes, it is a bigger part of the culture than maybe Mike was describing. But I agree with Mike's description of appropriation way more than you because like there is that whole appropriation versus appreciation conversation like which one is which or where do you draw the line between the two and like it's what Mike was saying is in my opinion correct like it's when you take
It
something like
also
a
has to do with like
headdress take
dominant
something
groups too. Sorry.
traditional take something traditional and you're taking all that context away from it taking that
Wait,
As
how? Wait,
just,
no, but you're saying you're taking the context away by you not being a member of
or
that
not only
culture,
just
not
taking
being.
context. So I don't. The way Mike said it is I think the best way to put it. I'm just trying to paraphrase, but it's you come on, what socially we consider appropriation. So I'm not gonna sit here and try to explain that to you. Like I know
No,
what
but that's the point. My
yeah.
opinion of it is that it's not so cut and dry, and it's not just a blanket. This is wrong because like you're black and you're delving into something Asian. Like I said,
I think you're right.
intention,
I think there's black
intention,
and whiteness to it.
intention, and context matters to it. I think it's way more gray than the black and white uh, response I've been getting from you guys. And
Well,
I
I
just
mean,
think like there can be like degrees of it, but like on the surface, like Eminem being a rapper and profiting off of a culture that really is not his is cultural appropriation, but his degree of it is different than say another rapper. And you guys keep naming Riff Raff. I'm assuming that that's a white guy. I have no idea who Riff Raff is.
yeah.
um, other people who do it have way less like credibility and like pay it. Like Eminem, like he's lived it his whole life. He's like you've said, come on, he's ingrained in the culture, and his degree is different. But like I still have always thought that it's kind of awkward that Eminem does what he does. Yes, he doesn't say the N word in his songs, but
he
like
raps.
is it really
So wait,
his
yeah.
place?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So if we're gonna do, yeah, that Mike is talking about like cultural gatekeeping and saying that if you're like because he's white, he's not allowed to um
Like he is
like
an opportunity for
like
white people
he's
to like listen to rap, and that's usually how it
no
goes.
no the industry utilize him to market and sell toward white people. That had nothing to do with him.
Right. And also, no one
And
stopped Eminem from rapping though.
huh?
Like you said that he's not allowed. Like no one. He every
We you know what I mean by you're come on.
well, but not with Eminem. You can't say that Eminem is not allowed. And I'm not saying like to
Listen,
equate the Eminem situation
with
with
all these things, people are allowed.
uh,
Um, we're talking about being like performing an action without great public scrutiny and criticism based on you doing that, based on your ethnicity, which is really what it is, right?
okay. So everybody's
That's
cool with appropriation. We're good.
What what'd you say?
Everyone's appropriation is fine. Kamal says.
yep,
Eminem, yes.
yep.
I mean, I think you have a good point. Come on, I think like you were saying about
I don't think the
you
anime
know.
point is a good comparison.
Well, we don't
It's not.
agree with that, but
It's just an example because you can replace that literally with anything else. So like I'm trying to find out what's the criteria that we're saying. So we're saying Bruno Mars is okay because he's a fan of it. So um is being a fan and depending on what is appropriate if you're a fan of it and not. So you have to live around it. You have to be
it's about power
surrounding it
too,
for
though. Like,
long enough
right?
about your life. But the power how much is it dictated by you and the culture around you. And then are you and
I mean, he gets played
is
on the
it
radio.
what
I don't
is it
know exactly
is
what
it
are you guys
fair
talking about with Bruno Mars exactly?
because he's a non-black uh
R&B singer,
pop
R&B performer.
R&B singer, I guess maybe even considered a funk soul singer. So
Hmm.
those are all traditionally black genres of music, and
Right.
he's a non-black person.
Hmm.
So
He gets
So is it
criticized
like what
for
was that white
appropriation.
woman or the
Adele,
Australian?
wait, what?
Who are we talking about?
The
Oh, Iggy
Australian
Iggy Azalea.
Iggy?
Iggy
Yeah.
Azalea, yeah.
Uh-huh. He
So the
also
Is
whole
it
got
like that?
yeah.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, largely the point with Iggy Azalea is one the criticism she's gotten that other people haven't gotten is
Hmm.
well he's white as opposed to I don't know
Well, I
not
don't think the criticism is that she's white. The
no
criticism
no
with Iggy
part of it
Azalea.
is that she's white part of it is that she's white
Okay,
Because
yeah.
if she was Hispanic, if she was Snow the product, nobody would be talking. I don't know why that's the first woman I thought. Nobody would be thinking of. Nobody would be accusing her of cultural appropriation.
Well,
It's because she was white.
first
She
of
took
all, it's
on.
because she's
She
not
took
that
on
good.
some of. She took on.
I
Yes,
think the
she
biggest
was.
thing is because she's not that good. The
Well,
second,
but
the
that's
second,
that's a,
hold
that's
on,
a
hold on.
BS argument though.
Can I get a word in?
Okay, yeah.
The second thing is that she had this like persona, I guess you would call it. That's what people were, from what I saw, people were really critical of, like this black voice that she was putting on, right? So like she was putting on, I guess she would maybe call it just her rapper voice or her performer voice, but it was like, okay, you speak this way when you're speaking regularly. And of course, obviously, other rappers do the same thing where they change their tone, they change their flow, all that different things. But it's where the appropriation stuff comes in is like, okay, you start talking like this because you think this is what will make you fit into hip hop culture or sound like you're a member of hip hop culture. We talked about Macklemore last time, and Macklemore, I think, does a great job of just sounding like himself. Like he doesn't try to sound like this bugged out, like rapper, but Iggy Azalea definitely puts on that type of tone, and it's like it's not genuine to who you are. You didn't come from that life. You have admittedly not come from like that background. So like, where is this coming from? Like, where does this like act come from? And you see it like I don't know why this came to mind just now, but like even people like Rick Ross. Rick Ross got criticized because his entire career is essentially fabricated. His hip hop persona is fabricated.
But
Like
nobody said that was cultural appropriation, and I'd
they don't
argue,
that okay, well, I was gonna make
and
that
I'd
point as well.
argue
I was
his,
gonna make that point as well.
yeah.
So people don't criticize Rick Ross. Well, they criticize him, but for in a different way or under a different umbrella, I guess you would
Well,
say.
to a much lesser degree than they accuse, like a huge portion of Iggy Azalea's um, public discourse around her is criticism about appropriation and her persona.
Sure, but
Very
still
little of it is directed toward Rick Ross.
sure, but she's still wildly successful. So I mean, she gets the criticism, but I think you know the power of being a white woman in hip hop. I mean, I think that's very clear, and I think that's where the appropriation takes its effect. I think because that's what makes people upset by it is that this woman who they'd probably say makes a mockery of the culture by putting on this persona, she's getting all this success when it's really not. It's not legitimate. It's not real. Um, Kamal, I'll let you have the last word on this because I know you want it, and then we can move on to
All
something
right.
else.
It's just I don't know. It just feels like the criteria and the scale is very like slippery and not.
It's definitely something you got to hammer out. You got to hammer out
It
the
definitely because
details.
it's like so like being like not being a part of the culture and the way you present yourself as authentic. That's something that we consider, we like evaluate when it comes to appropriation. I'd argue promoting yourself as a drug dealing kingpin when you've actually been a part of law enforcement
Mm-hmm.
uh, is quite a bit of appropriation. You're appropriating a culture of the drug life that you've never been a part of,
Mm-hmm.
but you're good at rapping. You fit the aesthetic, and you're black, so like
Right.
so not appropriation. It's like so
Yeah,
it's
but
like
that's not
so
cultural
You could
it
argue
appropriation.
that it's
it
his,
definitely is.
but
It
it is.
definitely is.
I
No,
mean, it
you're
is
talking
his
If
about
if
culture.
drug dealers.
It
That's
is
not
his culture,
culture.
though.
that there
If he
is a
grew
whole culture around the
if
drug
he
dealing
okay
lifestyle. What are you
if he
talking
grew
about?
up in an
That's two
environment
different words.
that was impacted by drugs, if he grew up with people that were drug dealers, if he like that's a completely different thing from someone
Mm,
who was not
but he
just because
wasn't.
you were a
But
police
he.
officer doesn't
But he
mean you
wasn't.
didn't grow up
But
in
he
a crack
wasn't. But
infested
he
neighborhood
wasn't.
in Miami.
Well, one. So wait. So question. So like, if I had done that,
Right.
if I was rapping about Rick Ross, if I was my whole rap catalog
Uh-huh.
was music catalog was all Rick Ross verses, right?
Yeah.
Would that be so? That would be less appropriate than what
I
Rick Ross
wouldn't
is
say
doing, right? Because
I think
I'll admit
where
I haven't lived in drug infested neighborhoods and dodged bullets on a a weekly basis. But also, like I said, being in
I
addition to
think
that,
it's just a different
living,
name.
growing up in a bad neighborhood where drug being sold is prevalent, and rapping about being a drug kingpin, like selling drugs, are
Mm-hmm.
very different things. And I would argue that's you're appropriating a culture that you're not a part of. Is That's still bad. But okay, yeah, and he's got, like I said, he's gotten some criticism, very
Right.
little now. It's only brought up by, like, I don't know, people who try to diss him, and that doesn't even happen anymore. So we can
Yeah.
move on.
Okay. Um. Okay. So
So
hard left here.
let's talk about men.
Oh, we going men first, or do you want to go to the Bears first?
They link, right? They kind of like
They go hand in hand. So
so
let's go, because I think let's go with the bear thing first. Okay,
yeah.
so there's a podcast that I kind of pay attention to. Van Lathan, does this. He posed this question on this podcast. Basically, if you were getting attacked by a bear in the woods, right, and you're with your significant other, and you're in more immediate danger, right, and we can go around the room here. What would you like your partner's reaction to be? Do you want them to save you? Do you want them to run for help? What's the what's the move that you would like to see you feel more comfortable with? Mike, you start. You're in the woods. There's no one around
Oh,
except your partner and this giant bear.
um,
Hungry bear.
I'm
Wait,
gonna.
is being in the woods a part of it? Just to
Yes, we're
clarify.
in the woods.
I mean, I feel
I
like
need
you
the
would be in the woods
attention.
if you encounter a bear.
No, you could be in your
Probably.
house. You could be in your
Bear,
house if you're
Bear's
like
You
talking to the.
could be, I guess. Yeah,
especially where
sure.
you live.
That's Sopranos reference.
Yeah,
What?
yeah, that's
Oh,
true.
yeah, remember that episode. So,
Um,
what do you want, Mike?
I want her to run for help
Okay.
because even if she tries to help me, there's nothing that she can do. So,
Okay, but what if she like throws rocks? What if she gets
I
it
mean, if she wants to pick,
action packed?
if she thinks that she by throwing rocks or hitting it with a log or something, she's gonna help. By
Uh,
all means, sure, do that. But to talk about, to get to the crux of what that guy was talking about, no, I do not expect her to save me from a bear.
okay.
Um, and I mean, I could say more about the conversation, but my main concern about it was that it was a very like stupid argument. Like it's
Well,
not
that's why
only
we're talking
stupid,
about it too.
not only stupid but useless. Like,
So if the roles were reversed, what would you do?
what would I do
Yes. If Lana's getting,
if the
I don't know if you want her name. I'll bleep it out. If she's getting attacked, what do you do?
I mean, I would do what I thought would be most helpful. If that meant like, kicking at the bear or hitting it with something, yeah, of course I would do it. If I didn't think that I was going to be able to do anything physically, I would go get help. Like,
Okay.
I
Nice.
wouldn't run away necessarily. Like, I would try to do what I can. But, like, if a bear is mauling somebody, like,
Well, we haven't gotten to Maul yet. We haven't gotten to the mauling stage. She's just in
it's
danger.
no, we said if a bear attacks them.
Well, the bear is in the attacking process. He hasn't made physical contact, but
You mean like it's
he's hurt.
like hovering over their
It's
body?
like, whoa, like this bear is about to like you're 20 feet away from the bear, and she's like 3 feet away from the bear, and he's
Oh,
actually
in
angry.
that situation, I mean, I would probably try to distract the bear.
Okay, now he's a hero. All right.
Yeah,
Okay, come on. You go.
I would go into hero mode.
See, the reason I want to talk about this, okay, and I know it's a stupid subject, but
It's very stupid.
Kamal is constantly talking about, the roles of women and the roles of men, and like how he thinks, men have to do more. And like, I'm thinking, okay, if Kamal's in this
Oh my
situation,
god.
I want to know, because I feel like Kamal's that kind of guy. I think Kamal's going to be like, yeah, I'm going to, try to save my lady's life. But I don't know. I would think
Wait,
that.
oh wait. I'm not
So
going to
this
save
is
her
an
because
extreme.
damn, why do men always gotta
Wait,
be the one to save her?
that's
Be
not
like,
what I
just
was
leave
gonna
her.
say. That's not what I was gonna say. Because I think for me and Mike, I think we would say we're going to save them, but we don't expect them to save us. But I think Kamal expects her to save him as well.
All right,
He's like, if I gotta do it,
That's
they gotta
equality,
do it.
and that's what women are fighting
for
for.
sure, for sure. Well, all right. So I'll say
I'll let
this.
Kamal put it in his own words.
I'll say this. All right. If it's in this scenario where I'm
You
in danger. I'm in danger.
want to do both situations. Let's do yes.
Okay.
Let's do you first.
All right. If I'm in danger, um, what I probably do is ask her to look for any sharp spear-like, stick-like object to stab the bear with.
This guy's gotta get
Um,
specific about spears.
but also, I would. We are in the year 2021.
Right.
The first thing I'm having her do is Google what to do when
You
a
don't have
bear
time.
is about to attack you.
You don't have time for that, but okay. It's your
Yeah.
Wait, why don't I? Wait, it's
Go
called.
We're talking about the bear is close enough where it like drips its spit on you.
Wait, no, he said 3 feet away,
I said
and the girl is
3
20.
feet, but also attacking, like also like.
Wait, am I being attacked or am I just
I
being
said
approached?
it's in the process.
This is
of
what
being
I wanted
attacked.
to know. Are you being mauled or are you not being mauled?
We haven't been hit yet, but it's 3 feet and attacking.
So you're talking
In the
about that
act.
split second that you
Wait,
got to
wait.
make a decision.
It's like you have enough time to be like, run, get help, or be like, help me. Like, what are you saying?
Wait,
Not
okay,
get
all right,
on the internet.
all right. I would like this scenario. It's really weird. Okay,
Oh my goodness.
so if he's let's say the bear is roaring at me and it's charging, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
It's coming at me. All right.
Making this way more complicated.
Probably fetal position for me, and then like ask her to Google and run for help. Probably that's probably what I would say.
All right. So
You are a card. You are a card. Come on, come on. I love you.
Now she's in danger and you're there. What do you do? Same thing.
Shape, spear, stick-like sharp object, and Google for the win.
Come on, have you considered a career in like being a lawyer? Like you are very like careful about your words.
I told you he's political. He's got political aspirations.
Yeah, you gotta Google it real quick. Just find out fetal position works.
I'm not trying to Google. First of all, we're out in the woods. You probably have no service. Okay, I don't care what kind of.
Oh, of course. Oh, now you adding that to the criteria. The 5G not working.
I'm not adding it. I'm just saying more than likely the service is not going to be reliable. But I would have to say I'm going to go for distraction tactics. I'm charging in. If I'm not in danger, I'm not leaving. That just doesn't feel right to me. So I'm not leaving the space. I'm either watching this bear maul this person, or I'm going out, trying to help. But I think if the roles were reversed and they are, my significant other is in the safe zone, I would probably ask them to run for help and hope for the best, so they don't have to watch me get torn to shreds. Segueing into the other topic, are men getting weaker? Were our answers weak? Should we have expected more from our women? Who was that white guy on the Reggie Toes interview thing? I don't know if you know him or seen his videos.
He was
like a I don't
like some like I felt
he was like a man doctor.
Yeah,
he's one of these new waves. Man,
quick aside. Brown bears and grizzly bears. You should play dead. Lay on your stomach.
You see how long it took you to find that out?
I had it. I was waiting to interject. Black bears do not play dead.
Okay. Yeah, it says to attack them. I'm also observing that.
Both looking it up. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So
I mean, we should know these things.
Mike, you should know these things. You basically live in the world.
I don't need to know these things.
So there you go. Look at that.
It says that they may yawn or clack their teeth. I don't know what that means.
Mike is way more likely to encounter wild animals than we are.
Yeah, he hikes in the wilderness. Look at him.
Yeah, look at that beard. Look at that lumber.
Listen, I've fought off a bear or two. That's why these conversations
Or
are so
0.
hilarious. What would I do? What did I do? I already did that. Yeah, men are definitely getting weaker though.
Okay, so we have these. I feel like Kamal knows this community way more than I do. These alpha males who are superior beings, and women are weak, and they have their place in the world. This is what Kamal subscribes to. I'm just
Yeah, this is what he's like
All right,
researching on his own time.
I swear
So
you guys.
This is what you're reading on the train.
I'm pretty sure those guys would have said, we go and we kill the bear because that's what we're men and that's what we're born to do. We're originally hunter gatherers and that's what we do. And
Yeah.
women, they cry and they feel emotions and we don't. So we kill the bear, obviously, and then we eat its meat for sustenance. That's what they would have said.
No,
So to that point,
but you make love to your submissive
oh
woman
yes,
in
yes.
in the bear's in the bear's skin.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
You use the bear as a
cavity of
rug.
the dead bear.
You use the bear as a rug. Yes.
Make love to the bear.
And make sweet love to the bear and the woman at the same time.
Okay, let's
I'm sorry, that's
we're gonna
hilarious.
get flagged for bestiality now. It's not gonna be good. But yeah,
to the bear.
The guy was making the argument that men and women's roles have been reversed. All the qualities that we were taught, I guess, in the golden days of being a man, they're now being like pushed and saying that women should have these characteristics and men are losing them, and that's why men play video games and I don't know other weird things that he brought up.
Dumb. He's like men are busy smoking weed and somebody else like we're smoking he was basically saying that like the nice guy phenomenon when it comes to men
that's what it was.
Is the crux of it, that the nice guy phenomenon is based on like this like very early onset insecurity and like low self-esteem that like is created inside men, where they really struggle to uh, understand, have a strong sense of worth to themselves, self-worth. And they like basically capitulate to gain the good graces of women and other people around them. So they define their value and their esteem by trying to gain the approval and basically the approval of other people, particularly women, when it comes to dating. So
what if it's what if he's a nice guy because he knows that he has a giant dick and like he's just gonna get whatever he wants, so he could be the nice guy.
I don't think he spoke about that. I think that might have been part 2 that they left out.
You're like, that might have been your own addendum.
Yeah,
Mike,
be like, but
we don't have to get into that.
Like, yeah, I could be a nice guy with low self-esteem, but what if my dick is
Yo, you need to bring that voice out more. Yo, I could be a nice guy, but sorry. I'm taking away for the moment.
No, it's okay. I did think it was interesting. Like, I do see where culturally, socially, we're asking women to have more of these masculine traits, right?
That's the first problem with that, right?
They're not masculine traits. They're just human. They're just traits. Like they're just or whatever. But it is interesting in the sense that we want women to be equal. We want women to feel safe and as as successful as they can be in any particular space that they want to be in, right? So it's like we acknowledge that systematically we've set up barriers for them through not barriers. Okay, that was a reach, Mike. From not being able to vote, not being able to own land, not being able to do all these things, right? So now that they're trying to catch up, it's like, okay, they're taking on these again masculine qualities. So is that? I guess Kamal, to your point, is that's what you see as the root of the problem is that we still think of this as a masculine trait as opposed to just a trait. And then these types of guys, they feel intimidated because they feel like something they own is being taken away from them. Like that's how I kind of
Mm.
feel about it. It's like, why does women being masculine take away from you or make you less masculine? I just don't get it.
It's I don't know. It kind of feels like the white fragility thing, like the
Mm,
whole that like you're that like more calling for like equality when it comes to on a racial level feels like a tax and oppression by
yeah.
the more powerful set. But like so like you're right. Yeah, there was a lot of societal systemic barriers, and now there are now largely those they're more like cultural barriers that are working to be
Hmm.
overcome now. Social barriers really is like
Right.
the final frontier. Like I was for the most part, I would say there's like still some systemic things. You know,
Yeah,
got
I mean, yeah, this is still a very
reproductive
Western
rights.
thing. Like, I mean, some countries like women still don't have all those rights. I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
it's so.
unfortunately, that's also used as a justification to like tell women to shut up. Is that like
Mhm.
Saudi Arabia? Um, they don't like they're still
They
like
can't drive a
force.
car or
I
something.
think they can now,
They
but
can
like
now. Okay, I think
yeah, but they couldn't. So they was like, oh well, they can't drive cars in Saudi Arabia, so shut up about
mhm.
um
Equal pay.
yeah, or like shut up about like I don't know about rape culture, whatever, something like that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
Your house
like
isn't on fire. It's
yeah,
fine.
it's fine. So yeah, the weakness thing, it just honestly, I'm not a like a anthropologist, sociologist, or anything like that. I'm gonna just spitball something that like that sounds right in my head. Is that
Hmm.
like back in the day when we were Neanderthals, we were
Hmm.
able to recognize that on generally men were bigger and stronger. I
Hmm.
don't say faster. And
Yeah.
women weren't. Women were smaller, weaker, frailer, and
Mhm.
women
All right, those are some aggressive words.
it's the opposite.
Gotta call them
Stronger,
Shots
frail.
frailer.
fired.
You gotta call them frail. Come on, Jesus, we get it. You hate women, all right?
Sorry, weak, frail,
Jesus.
insignificant.
You
You
could
Yeah,
were
yeah,
say
right. You
yeah.
didn't
you
have to
could
say
just say that they were
stupid.
smaller. No, women
I
that
think
were
you said
dumb. They were fat,
yeah.
But
They were smaller, frail,
weak,
stupid,
sickly,
useless.
yeah, all
always
right.
Waste of
complaining.
time.
But but
Just
so
continue.
yeah, so like we took the Neanderthalic like understanding that like men big, women small,
Good
women
caveman.
give birth, so women stay with to stay to I guess like to nurture a child,
Hmm.
and big man pick up and hunt and stuff like that. And then we just extrapolate that to
I
every
love
other
your
part.
commitment to caveman speak. That was good.
And then we just extrapolate that to like every part of society and just kept it pushing forward. So it was like bigger, like big, stronger meant like leadership, meant that um, like yeah, meant like aggression because we used aggression for
Hmm.
hunting and stuff like that. Meant that aggression was good in leadership. Meant aggressive was what it meant to be a man and stuff like that. And we just kept pushing. We just like we conserved those values and those ideas and said that was the way it should be. And it's still being kind of perpetuated, even though it's been fought and kind of dwindled away at throughout the centuries. It's
Right.
like we're still finding that we consider aggression and or like logical thinking and smarts. We consider those like masculine. Well, I don't know, not necessarily. I guess it depends, right? Like
Well, I mean,
people
no,
pick and
that was one
people
of the
pick and
points
choose.
he was making is that women are now more educated than men. So like he would probably claim that men are supposed to be smarter.
But like we pick and choose that like we pick and choose when like intellect is a like a positive like masculine trait, right?
Do
Like,
we? I guess
but
nerds aren't socially.
it depends. It depends,
Like a
right?
know-it-all, like a girl's like a
No, not
know-it-all in
know it
her
all. Just
class.
like just being like well educated, stuff like that. Like
Yeah, you
yeah,
would say
or
that
even nerdy.
socially intelligent people aren't like at the top of the food chain. It's like the
Or
uh,
it's becoming more of a thing now. Maybe
yeah.
I don't know because I feel like
Well, no, we still make fun of Mark
years.
Zuckerberg.
Well, well maybe not like intellect, but like the nerd aesthetic is still like
Hmm.
frowned upon because like we still like consider like great philosophers and like political thinkers and things like that. We consider those people men of great intellect, and those are like
Right.
pinnacles of men of humanity, right? So,
Yeah, but
or
those guys got a lot of ass, so it's like a whole different thing. Like,
well,
stop.
well, part of that. Why did they do that? Part of it was because of like the attractiveness of it, right? So maybe, like I said, the
Was that what it
nerd.
was? I don't know if Socrates was laying pipe because he was so smart.
Do we
I
even
think
know
he
if
was.
Socrates was a real person?
he was he was
I don't know. Plato, who was real? Come on. I don't know.
We don't know, right? I mean, all we know is the writings. All we know is the
Socrates was
writings that they
laying
have.
pipe at little boys. Like
All
that's
right.
Greek. That's
Fair
Greek
enough.
culture.
Let's not get into that. Let's not get
Fair
into
enough.
that.
Fair enough. All
Let's
right.
like let's
I
stick to
just
the
want to
beast.
say,
Let's stick to the bestiality.
that let's stick to the bestiality. Fuck. No, I was gonna say like the things that you're talking about, like oh, when we were Neanderthals, and then now it's just been advanced, and those sentiments about men versus women have been capped and stuff. I think it's interesting. It's an interesting thing because like society, like as a society, we say that those things are um the true held notions about men and women. But really, over time, like it's been different for different people, right? Like different families over time, like the men have been strongest or the most dominant, women have been the strongest and the most dominant. But it's society overall, in like an overall general arc kind of thing, that men have been given power. So that's like why nowadays they say like how many CEOs are female, or um, men playing a role in female dominated careers, or the vice versa, men females in men dominated fields. But if you think about it, like it's an interesting thing, right? Because like that's not really the truth. That's not the truth for every, even with Neanderthals. Like there were probably like nerdy guys who like like who didn't take control for the family, and the female did. Or there's the stories that we see now on TV, like about like the monarchies and shit in Britain or whatever, where yeah, sure, you have a king or whatever, but who is behind that king? Who is like his consigliere kind of figure? Like the women have always played a strong role. It's just that society has not allowed for them to even pretend that they are the dominant. And it's like I think of like a writer like Jane Austen or something, like questioning those things, even though she was like brilliant herself. Is it
No,
Jane Austen was the author, or was that the character?
I think that's
I
it.
forget.
Author. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the author, right?
I think it's also yeah. Well, all right. So we also must note that this is obviously like a really like un academic,
I mean, I'm a
uh,
sociology major, so
unresearched, unresearched,
Whoa,
and
whoa,
very
whoa, whoa.
very Western like perspective
yes.
on things. Because like obviously there have been societies and cultures throughout history and throughout the world that have um, where a matriarchal system and like or
Hmm.
um, a woman driven hierarchy and power like system exists.
Yes.
And like yeah, and there's exceptions. There are moments of like, but we're talking about like the whole point of like our men getting weaker, like the whole concept for that video is the idea that men we're on this greater level and
Hmm.
seem to have lost um their place in terms
Yes.
of
Yeah.
like
To
how they
weed
should
and video games.
how they should, yeah, because of weed and video games, which is
And
Yo,
masturbation. Masturbation too.
is that what you
Honestly,
said?
I think
Yeah, yeah.
masturbation has made us stronger.
Have
Brought
you
us together.
seen have you
Yeah,
seen the
well,
average size of the male forearm in the last like 100 years?
We're on
It's
Popeye levels now.
exactly.
it's grown. It is grown. Let me tell you, I know from personal experience.
No, but I think Kamal, you were talking about this, like this just uprising or this surge of content creators who are talking about like these types of topics, and it concerns me a little bit because I feel like it's maybe one of those either it's like a like the Trump supporters, like it's a quiet minority, is that the term, quiet
Hmm.
minority, quiet majority, something like that. Because I'm like, okay, are these people really just out there and I just don't know because I don't see what they watch on YouTube, and guys are really out here thinking like, you know, I'm losing my edge, and like women are taking like it's really that same type of thing, like people that are afraid of immigration. Like these immigrants are coming and taking my job. It's the same thing as when they're like
Do
these
you have
women are coming,
statistics to back that up? Like,
like these women are coming and taking my career, prospects
they're
because
taking my balls.
they're smarter than me and they play less video games. So like
But like
that's what concerns me the most.
Listen, if they want to take the dominant role or the traditionally masculine or the traditionally male roles, let them. Let
Yeah.
them do the work. That's what I say.
But
I'm
they
not
would say
losing
that's a
anything.
problem, Mike. They would say that you're a weaker man
Well, I would say
that
that
attitude.
you're working hard while I'm sitting on the couch.
but yeah, nah, they like a lot of them would argue that like if you were in a household where your woman earned more, that's the woman acting masculine because the man is supposed to be the provider, the breadwinner, the supporter, and the woman's supposed to be the nurturer, right?
that's just
Those are the stereotypical.
that's
Um,
just a symptom of a YouTube personality and his or her ignorance, because
I'm
I
pretty
know
sure.
perfect examples of families that the woman is the breadwinner winner and the man still has a very important role
I thought you were
in the
gonna say
household.
the bread warmer.
The bread warmer. Yes.
Keep that
Yes,
bread
But
exactly. I was
warm.
gonna
Know
say.
your place.
yeah,
Yeah.
but like,
Um
so the thing
just
is that
because you
like,
make money doesn't mean your family will stay apart just because you stay together because you make money.
yeah. So like the thing with these, well, for one, I'm pretty sure those ways of thinking existed before YouTube. Like Kavan was saying,
Well, yeah.
I'm pretty sure like guys who were low self esteem and like struggled with dating and romance
Oh,
have existed throughout
why
time.
doesn't
I
the lady like me?
Yeah, I
Sorry.
can't speak exactly to like the dating cult, like the dating customs in like I don't know, ecosystem in like Europe and Africa and Asia and
Hmm.
throughout the ages. So we can't speak that. We can only generalize on what we think and base it on like,
You've already done enough generalizing about aliens
yeah,
tonight.
oh my god, if you bring that up one more time. But yeah, um, I think the interesting thing when it comes to that is like largely I feel it's guys who, for one, I think they some of it I think it depends. I think some people actually believe it. They think that the way of the world is going down a bad path because of these these movements and
Hmm.
this surge in women empowerment, stuff like that. Feeling Some of them feeling threatened. Some of it also I feel like a lot are, what's the expression, grifters, that they feel like they see there's an audience of guys who are
Hmm.
um,
They're
guys
just taking
and women
advantage
for
of
like
it.
each, yeah, guys and women on each end who feel that the guys are or women are insecure about themselves, about their dating prospects,
Right.
about like who they are and like their desirability in the world. So they play on that and they like they bolster them by like kind of reassuring their worst and like most negative sentiments about other people when it comes
So
to
they're con
women or
artists.
dating, right? Huh?
They're con artists,
I'm
basically.
sure they are, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Like a lot of them, they start with their conclusion and then like they work their
Work
they like
backwards from there.
yeah, like they'll say like this is how a man should be, this is what a woman should be, and so therefore this is like this is bad. This is going against what a man should be, and this is what a woman
So
should
it's
be.
basically a self-fulfilling prophecy.
If you placate into that, and if you like yeah, like if you perpetuate that to others, people who feel like they don't know how to operate in the modern dating world, they feel disconnected because of lack of social skills or because of the internet's kind of made uh, interpersonal interactions less um, repeatable and less dynamic. Then
Hmm.
they feel like yeah, they feel they kind of
Listen, it's just
bolster.
how you spin it too. Like, think about it. The world has it really gotten better or worse for, has it really gotten worse for less masculine guys, or has it gotten better? Years ago, okay, when before the internet, you had to go to the bar, you had to compete against the football players. That's always like the trope in movies is like, oh,
Hmm.
the guy with the football jacket takes the girl, and then the nerd is left standing alone or whatever.
Mhm.
Now, those nerdy guys, they got the internet, bro. They got the chance to make the profile. They don't
Right.
need to compete with the big guy. So in some
Or
ways,
they
I
can
would
catfish.
say,
That's the
yeah, they get catfish. But you know what? They have an opportunity that was not there before. So has the world gotten worse for them? I don't know. I think it's gotten better in some ways. They're out there. They're more accessible than they were before. Before they were inside.
thing. I had something else that I wanted to bring up, but I just wanted to. Did you guys have anything that you want to talk about before we probably get one more topic in? I just had a question that's kind of random, but
I
we
mean,
don't
No,
have
apart
I
from the
think
bear attack thing, no, I'm good.
I think
Okay.
that's it.
Okay, so I just had a thing because I was thinking about this today as I was in the barber's chair. I was wondering what you guys' relationship with your barbers are like.
Oh my god.
Do you and Mike with you in particular? I was like, do white people have that same sense of loyalty to their barber? Do you just kind of go, free ball it like whoever's open? What's your process when you go in there? Like, do you ask for a specific thing? Do you show a picture? What is that?
I would love to have more loyalty to a barber,
Hmm.
but I unfortunately like I have never had the experience in my life where I felt like I had loyalty because the barbers that I go to, like, they they not until recently, but they would regularly just switch people. Like, so you would just kind of get who was available.
Right.
I mean, for a while when I lived in Pennsylvania, I would go to the same guy. We would talk, but they never like knew me really,
Right.
and and then so now recently, like, I do go to the same person. It's actually a woman,
Hmm.
um, but the loyalty is not there really. It's just more like she was cheaper than the guy who owns the place, who actually charges more for some
Hmm.
reason. I don't really understand. The haircut is
That's
a
just a woman.
haircut. Yeah, yeah. There you go. Like, the woman gets paid less, and then um,
Mike,
you
you're
were
part of the
asking.
problem. You could
Yeah.
just
Oh
pay her
yeah.
more. You could
I
just
should
pay
pay
her
her
the same
more.
amount.
Well, it's actually funny you say that because one week I went and she was like $30 for a haircut, and then like a month later when I wanted a haircut, it was up to 45. I wanted to walk in there and be like, so, like, what new skill did you learn that because it wasn't just, it wasn't like, oh, she added on like 5 years experience or something. Like, what just happened in between the 6 weeks when I last saw you that now it's $15 more?
The
But
stock went up.
yeah, I guess. But to answer your question, like, do I show them a picture? Nah, 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 nah. I just with my hair, it's just like I just tell them, like, I want like a tight fade. I want it skin at the bottom, and I
Hmm.
want to trim on top. That's all I tell them.
And they
And
get
then
it
if
from
they,
you. Huh?
well, no, yeah. I should probably be more specific. Actually, sometimes she fucks it up, and I'm like, the white girl, she does not, she does, I mean, she knows what a fade is and she executes that,
Hmm.
but like I was for a while, I was going to a barber shop that I'm pretty sure was a Dominican owned barber shop,
Mhm.
uh, at a different place, and their fades were pretty tight.
Mhm.
So I got to go back there. It just I stopped going because it got too far from me. But they probably, and I had a actually one more point. I went when I lived in Virginia. I went to like a really high class barbershop in
Mhm.
like in the main street in the town there, and it was owned. It looked like it was
Like
owned by
loves
an
the Main
older
Street.
what?
You
Yeah,
love a
oh
Main
yeah, I
Street.
love the main street. Yeah, and it was definitely owned by like an older black gentleman who had a bunch of like younger black guys working for him, like a couple of Spanish guys. I got pretty good haircuts there too. I got to be honest, because they would pay attention to what I wanted, and they would like stop and ask me like you want me to do this, and I tell them. And but yeah, the girl I go to now, she's just kind of like a bobblehead, like a little bit, like she's just like no no no, just do this, like, and I'm like nah, that's not really what I wanted, but yeah. So that I hope that answers the question. What's it
He
like
Definitely.
for
won't
you
be
guys?
he won't be subscribing to the channel then. It sounds
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, he just unsubscribed.
She doesn't know. She's a bobblehead.
Come on, what do you do? Are you loyal to your barber? I feel like you might not be.
I mean, if anything, they're they're not loyal to me because, well, for one, I don't get haircuts that often, as you guys have.
Yeah, we know. We know.
Yeah,
We've
this was my first cut since
your birthday.
yeah, my birthday or something like that, which was a while ago, which was
Almost a
last year.
year ago.
Many
Yeah.
strip clubs ago.
Oh my god. But yeah, so like,
But wait, that has nothing to do with them being not loyal to you. You're just not.
oh, I was gonna say because like, funny enough, like before I moved, there was a barber shop I used to go to, and like, funny enough, like, one, it's probably my fault for, actually I have no control over it, but like the people I would go to,
Mhm.
like, because I went so rarely, like I maybe get like cut like one, maybe like three times by them, and then like they would either like end up leaving the shop,
All right.
or yeah,
Die.
it was one or two things. Yeah, it was either they leave the shop or they've like passed away. Like, I,
They were that
seriously,
old?
no, not
No,
even old. Like, just,
he was going to a shop in the hood. It's just
it wasn't even
Oh
the
my
hood. It
god.
was, but like, yeah, I think two of the people who I would like, who have cut my hair and who I was like, oh, I'm gonna go to them consistently, have like passed away.
You got
that's
there and they were like, he was
incredible.
like, let me get a cut with Edgar. And he was like,
Yeah, no,
Somebody took a little bit too much off the top of Edgar.
you know what I mean?
there was a little more tact than that. But like, yeah, like I would go in and then like I wouldn't go for like another, maybe, I don't know, 6 months. Like, yeah, I think like the last one I went to at my old place, um, I went there and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go to the same guy,
Mhm.
and then like I go there and there was like like a like an RIP with him. Like, they have with the rest of the
Damn,
barbers having like his
I would
picture,
be broken.
and I was like,
And nobody even reached out to you. The family didn't let you know about the service.
yeah, no, it's sad. But like, yeah, it's just
And
it's unfortunate, but like, yeah. So I've never had like that consistent of it because, say, one, I haven't prioritized getting my hair cut. Like, I
Right.
think ever since like college, I haven't really prioritized it.
You definitely go
Um,
natural.
yeah, it's out of laziness, really. It's like,
Mhm.
it really is. It's like I get the haircut. I don't get the haircut out of laziness, and then
Yeah,
I
but
end
why
up
don't you
getting the
like
haircut.
maintain it yourself? Like you could do that too. I guess that's also
What,
lazy.
cutting my own hair?
Not cutting your. I mean, just give yourself a little trim and a little. It's like
I
during the
mean,
pandemic.
I'll do that for like the facial hair, but like
Right.
in terms of cutting this, nah, I can't. I don't trust myself with that.
I've done it. I've messed up
No,
horribly. I
yeah,
think you guys. I think I talked about
yeah,
that.
you've told us about it. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I've
see,
seen it.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
If my hair gets messed up, I want to have somebody I can blame that I don't have to
Right.
look at every day.
That's true.
So
I get that.
yeah. So what
Do you
about
have a
you?
barber?
Have you killed all my barbers?
Yeah, I'm actually the one that's been taking your barbers out one by
All right,
one.
but no more jokes about the dead barbers. All right, but yeah, continue.
Yes, rest in peace, mom's dead barbers. So,
Jimmy Snippets.
so stupid. Um, yeah, I am definitely loyal to my barber. This guy's been cutting my hair for probably we're in 2021 now. Probably started going to him in like 2013, 2014.
See,
Wow.
I don't even have that choice.
He's like, it's
But,
2021 now, but
but
I've been going up since 20 odd
But
four.
so we, obviously, like I moved in and out of New York, so like we were on and off at times. But like, so it's like, a modern romance. I went to Virginia and I came back. He's out of my way. Like he's not convenient to get to. It's not like he's like a 5 minute walk, which would be ideal. But the barbershop that was near me when I moved back um, just wasn't good. They were Dominican. My barber's Dominican, so I usually look for Dominican barbers because they just have like the perfect balance with like my hair type and like what I want. So the Dominican guys over by where I live just wasn't giving it to me. It just wasn't the right service. It just didn't feel right. And I eventually, like through Instagram, because I have his number saved in my phone, like it suggests people based off your contacts. So like he opened his own barbershop and he stopped working at the barbershop where he was before, and I just found him again, and like we rekindled our relationship. Like uh it was like during like kind of almost the end of the well, I guess the pandemic isn't pandemic ended for me last year when I started going back to work. But like sometime last year, I hit him up, found him on Instagram. I was like, oh, I'm gonna come through like to the new shop, and it's just great. It's a marriage. I'm loyal to the soil with this guy.
What do you guys talk about when you get
That's
cut?
that's the thing. We don't really talk. We don't.
Yes,
Oh, I love
He
that.
knows.
yes.
He knows. Like we do the pleasantries, and it's genuine. It's like, okay. So here's the thing. When he's on the phone when he's cutting my hair, he's usually on the phone or joking around with the guys. So like if he's on the phone, he's usually talking to like his parents because I usually go around the same time, and he usually calls his parents around the same time. So like I always hear the conversation with like his mom and dad, and like so I always like, how is your mom and dad? Like, how are they doing? Like, how's the family? Things like that. So like we do those types of pleasantries. But for the most part, after that, I sit in the chair and I close my eyes and I'm just chilling. Like, and
You
he's doing his
close
thing.
your eyes.
I close. That's how comfortable I am with this man.
Oh my
Like,
god!
I tell him
Wow.
what I want,
I want to
and
do that.
and he pretty much knows at this point. Like, sometimes I'll switch it up and I have to explain it to him, but he knows for the most part what I want. So I'm like, yeah, like last time, or like I want to like this, but everything else the same. And I close my eyes and we're good. So and like there'll be times where there was this one time a lady was in there just yakking it up, like quiet, like the place was quiet, and she just would not stop talking. She wasn't getting the vibe of the environment. And he whispers to me, he's like, some people just don't get it. Like some people just want to be quiet. And I was like, yeah. I was like, you get me. And we just have this great thing, and it's like he's always excited to see me. I'm always excited to see him, and it's a fantastic relationship.
Now here's
So,
my question:
uh,
what, if you don't mind me asking, how much does he charge?
so for a cut and a shave, I think it's 30.
Cutting a shave.
I think it's 30.
Okay.
But I pay like 45. I give him like a pretty good tip because he also does like he does the straight razor. He
Okay.
puts like this tingly cream on my face, puts the hot towel, like it's like a spa day. Okay,
Yeah,
like
they did that to me too.
it's a whole thing. So like,
So
he
what? But
goes,
what's your tip? What do you give him as a tip?
technically, I guess you would say $15 because he only
Damn.
costs 30. But he's my guy. He does it right every time, and like you know,
Damn,
yeah.
I thought it was a baller giving $10 as a tip.
So, I mean, like it's usually like 10 to 15. Today I
Does
gave.
he? Does he trip? Does he trim your ears?
No, he doesn't.
I get my ears trimmed sometimes, and I
I
get
don't
my
know.
eyebrows trimmed.
I don't know if I need that though. To be honest with you.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I have white hairs on my ears now.
I don't have much going on in there, so I don't. I mean, if I asked him to, he probably would. The man's a master barber. Okay, he knows what he's doing.
Can you trim downstairs for me?
No.
He's
No.
like,
I've also seen him pull out this machine, like a massage machine. Have you ever seen that? They put like a little motor on their hands and they like start working your shoulders. He's never done it to me. He's offered it.
That's too much.
Like, no, I'm
That's too
good.
much.
Like, I'm
He
good.
knows that you don't want that.
Yeah, I'm good. And he's just a great guy. He's great guy. Shout out Carlos.
What's his name?
Carlos.
Yeah. Shout out to Carlos.
Carlos. So this episode is dedicated to Carlos.
Yes. But he's not dead. Like, come on, Barry.
He's not dead. They keep passing away. They just get too close to those razors.
That's dark. That's
Should we end it there, fellas?
Yeah, I think we
Yeah.
should. I think we should before someone starts investigating.
I'm innocent. I've done nothing wrong.
All these deaths just suddenly happening around him.
Don't you dare start suggesting stuff before they.
Okay. All right, that'll be all. I think we're at episode 34.
34, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
Jack episode.
Nighty night. Keep your
Adios.
barbers close.
Keep your
Fully
barbers
made.
closed. Fully made indeed.